Welcome to our channel. Today, we dive into the heart-pounding world of military combat with 3 terrifying true stories that will leave you on the edge of your seat. These aren't just stories, they're glimpses into the darkest corners of war, where fear is a constant companion and courage is tested in the face of unimaginable terror. We're talking about the strange, the unsettling, the truly unexplained events that have left soldiers forever marked. So, lock your doors, turn off the lights, and get ready to step onto the battlefield. Just remember, in the dead of night, when you close your eyes, you might just hear the echoes of these chilling tales. Picture this: Vietnam, 1968. The air is thick with tension, the kind that makes your skin crawl and your heart race. The jungle is alive, a symphony of buzzing insects and rustling leaves. But beneath the surface, a different kind of life stirs. Danger. It's a place where every shadow could hide an enemy, and every sound could be the last thing you hear. The air is thick with it, heavy with humidity and the constant threat of enemy contact. The oppressive heat clings to the soldiers, making every step feel like a struggle. A squad of young American soldiers, barely old enough to shave, are on patrol. Their faces are a mix of determination and fear, each one knowing the stakes of their mission. They call themselves the River Rats, a nickname born from their countless missions along the Mekong Delta. They've seen things that would haunt most men, but tonight, they face something different. Their mission tonight is simple reconnaissance. But in the jungle, nothing is ever truly simple. Observe enemy movement, report back, don't engage. It's a mantra they repeat to themselves, a way to keep the fear at bay. The point man, a wiry kid from Texas named Johnson, raises his fist, signaling the squad to halt. Something isn't right. His instincts, honed by months in the jungle, scream at him to stop. The jungle has gone silent, an eerie, unnatural silence that sets every nerve on edge. Even the insects seem to have fallen quiet. It's as if the jungle itself is holding its breath. The soldiers scan the dense foliage, their eyes searching for any sign of movement. Every rustle of leaves, every shadow could be a threat. Johnson takes a hesitant step forward, then another. Each step feels like a gamble, a roll of the dice with their lives on the line. The silence is unnerving, broken only by the sound of their own breathing. It's a silence that presses down on them, making the jungle feel even more claustrophobic. And then he hears it. A sound that doesn't belong. A faint humming, low and rhythmic, like a lullaby from hell. It's a sound that sends chills down their spines. He signals for the squad to fan out, their rifles raised. Every muscle in their bodies tenses, ready for whatever comes next. The humming grows louder, closer. It's a sound that seems to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. It seems to be coming from everywhere and nowhere at once. The jungle, already a place of nightmares, feels even more sinister. Tension crackles in the air, thick and suffocating. Every second feels like an eternity. Suddenly, Johnson sees it. A flicker of movement in the undergrowth. It's quick, almost too quick to be real. He raises his rifle, his finger tightening on the trigger. Every instinct tells him to shoot, but he hesitates. But before he can fire, a blood-curdling scream pierces the night. It's a sound that freezes their blood. The squad rushes towards the sound, their hearts pounding in their chests. Every step feels like a race against time. They find their medic Miller, cowering behind a tree, his eyes wide with terror. He's seen something that has shattered his composure. "I saw it," he stammers, pointing a trembling finger towards the darkness. "I saw it." His voice is barely a whisper, but the fear in it is unmistakable. But there's nothing there, just the dense, unforgiving jungle. No enemy soldiers, no wild animals, just the dense, unforgiving jungle. It's as if whatever he saw has vanished into thin air. Yet Miller insists he saw something that moved like a man but cast no shadow. His words hang in the air, adding to the growing sense of dread. The patrol continues, the soldiers on edge, their nerves frayed. Every sound, every shadow feels like a threat. The humming follows them, a constant reminder of the unseen presence lurking in the shadows. It's a sound that they can't escape, no matter how far they go. They find no trace of the enemy, but they find something far more disturbing, something that makes their blood run cold. Scattered along their path, they discover small piles of stones, arranged in strange, ritualistic patterns. It's a sight that sends shivers down their spines. The stones are cold to the touch, unnaturally so. It's as if they've been touched by something not of this world. The humming seems to intensify around them. It's a sound that burrows into their minds, making it hard to think. The river rats complete their mission, returning to base shaken and disturbed. Their faces are pale, their eyes haunted by what they've seen. They report the strange occurrences, but their story is met with skepticism. Their superiors dismiss it as the product of overactive imaginations. The humming, the shadow figure, the cold stones. It's all dismissed as combat stress, a figment of their exhausted minds. But the river rats know better. But the river rats know what they experienced out there in the darkness. They know that some things can't be explained away so easily. They know that the jungle holds secrets, ancient and terrifying, and some things are better left undisturbed. The memory of that night will haunt them forever, a reminder of the unseen horrors that lurk in the shadows. Fast forward to the desolate deserts of Iraq, 2003. The sun beats down on the scorched earth, baking the sand until it shimmers like a mirage. The heat is relentless, creating waves of distortion that dance across the horizon. A lone outpost stands guard, a beacon of civilization in a sea of sand and silence. It is a small fortress, surrounded by nothing but endless dunes and the occasional dust storm. Inside, a squad of battle-hardened Marines, veterans of countless firefights, are on high alert. Their eyes scan the horizon, ever watchful for any sign of movement. They've been pinned down for days by an unseen enemy, a ghost sniper who seems to strike at will. The tension is palpable, every soldier knowing that at any moment, they could be the next target. The sniper's accuracy is unnerving. Each shot is precise, deadly, and leaves no room for error. He picks off the Marines one by one, always with a single, deadly shot. The fear of the unseen enemy grows with each passing day. Food and ammunition run low, and the scorching sun beats down on their morale. The heat saps their strength, making every task a struggle. Sergeant Jackson, a grizzled veteran with haunted eyes, studies the satellite images for the 100th time. He searches for any clue, any hint of the sniper's location. The enemy sniper is a phantom, leaving no trace, no sign of his presence. It's as if he vanishes into thin air after each shot. The men are on edge, their nerves are frayed, and every sound, every shadow becomes a potential threat. Every gust of wind, every flicker of movement in the distance sends shivers down their spines. The desert itself seems to conspire against them. They set traps, they launch counter-sniper operations, but the phantom sniper always seems to be one step ahead. It's a deadly game of cat and mouse, with the Marines always on the losing side. One by one, the Marines fall victim to the unseen marksman. Each loss is a heavy blow to their already fragile morale. Fear turns to paranoia, and the outpost becomes a pressure cooker of tension and dread. The men start to doubt each other, and trust becomes a rare commodity. Then, one night, a young private named Davis disappears from his post. His absence is noticed almost immediately, sending a wave of panic through the outpost. He's gone without a trace, his rifle and gear left untouched. It's as if he vanished into thin air, just like the phantom sniper. A search party is assembled, but the desert offers no clues. The vast expanse swallows their efforts, leaving them with nothing but more questions. Days turn into weeks, and the phantom sniper claims more victims. The toll on the Marines is devastating, both physically and mentally. The remaining Marines are pushed to the brink, their sanity hanging by a thread. Exhaustion and fear take their toll, and the men are barely holding on. Jackson, determined to end the nightmare, devises a daring plan. He knows that they can't continue like this, and something drastic must be done. He orders his men to simulate a full-scale evacuation of the outpost, hoping to lure the sniper out of hiding. It's a risky move, but it's their best chance. As the sun sets, casting long shadows across the desert, the Marines stage their escape. The air is thick with tension, every man knowing the danger they face. They leave behind a trail of decoys and false signals, hoping to convince the sniper that the outpost is abandoned. It's a carefully crafted illusion, designed to draw the enemy out. Hours stretch into an agonizing wait. The silence is deafening, and every second feels like an eternity. Just when their hopes begin to dwindle, a single shot rings out. The sound is sharp, cutting through the night like a knife. The sniper has taken the bait. The Marines' hearts race as they prepare to spring into action. Jackson and his men spring into action, their movements honed by years of training. Every step is calculated, every move precise. They converge on the sniper's position, their weapons ready. The tension is almost unbearable as they close in. But as they close in, they're met with an eerie silence. The sniper is gone. It's as if he vanished into the night, leaving them with nothing but questions. The only evidence of his presence is a single spent shell casing glinting in the moonlight. It's a haunting reminder of the Phantom Sniper's deadly skill. The Phantom Sniper is never found. The desert remains silent, holding its secrets close, and the Marines are left to wonder if they will ever be free of the ghost that haunts them. Our final story takes us to the battle-scarred landscape of Afghanistan, 2010. High in the unforgiving mountains, a small contingent of British soldiers occupies a remote outpost. The terrain is harsh, the air thin, and the isolation palpable. The outpost is built near the ruins of an old Soviet bunker, a relic of a forgotten war. This bunker, once a stronghold, now stands as a ghostly reminder of past conflicts. From the moment they arrive, the soldiers are plagued by strange occurrences. It's as if the very ground they stand on is cursed, whispering secrets of the past, whispers in the dead of night, shadows moving in the periphery, and an oppressive feeling of dread that permeates the very air they breathe. The soldiers feel an unseen presence watching their every move. One night, during a routine patrol, a young private named Davies claims to have seen a figure watching him from the entrance of the abandoned bunker. His heart races as he tries to make sense of what he saw. He describes a tall, gaunt figure in a tattered Soviet uniform, its face obscured by shadow. The figure's eyes, though hidden, seem to bore into his soul. His comrades dismiss it as a trick of the light, but Davies is convinced he saw something sinister. He can't shake the feeling that they are not alone. As the days turn into weeks, the strange occurrences intensify. The soldiers' nerves are frayed, and their sleep is plagued by nightmares. Equipment malfunctions, radios crackle with unintelligible whispers, and the soldiers report feeling cold spots within the outpost, even in the sweltering heat. It's as if the very air around them is alive with malevolent energy. One evening, during a fierce thunderstorm, the outpost loses contact with headquarters. The storm rages on, adding to the sense of isolation and dread. The radio operator, a seasoned corporal named Lewis, struggles to regain communication, but the airwaves are filled with a deafening static. He tries every frequency, but the static persists. Suddenly, the static resolves into a guttural voice speaking in Russian. The voice is chilling, sending shivers down Lewis's spine. The voice is deep and distorted, filled with an unspeakable rage and sorrow. It speaks of pain, loss, and vengeance. Lewis tries to make sense of the words, but they are garbled, almost demonic. The voice seems to be calling out from beyond the grave. The voice seems to be coming from the abandoned Soviet bunker, the very place that has been the source of their nightmares. The soldiers exchange uneasy glances, their faces pale in the flickering lantern light. Fear grips their hearts as they realize the gravity of their situation. They are a world away from home, cut off from help, and trapped in a nightmare not of their making. The isolation is suffocating, and the sense of impending doom is overwhelming. The voice on the radio continues to rant and rave, its words like venom seeping into the minds of the terrified soldiers. They listen in horror, unable to tear themselves away. Just when they think it can't get any worse, the bunker door creaks open. The sound is deafening in the silence, and their hearts pound in their chests. A cold wind blasts into the outpost, extinguishing the lanterns and plunging the soldiers into darkness. The temperature drops, and the air is filled with an eerie chill. Screams pierce the night as the soldiers scramble for their weapons, their fingers trembling on the triggers. They are ready to fight, but against what, they do not know. When the sun finally rises, casting its golden rays across the desolate landscape, the outpost is eerily silent. The outpost is found deserted. The soldiers are gone, vanished without a trace. It's as if they were never there. The only sign of their presence is a single, chilling message scrawled on the wall in blood-red paint. "This is our land." The haunting words echo in the empty halls, a grim reminder of the unseen forces that lurk in the shadows. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed these stories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more spine-chilling content. The battlefield is a breeding ground for fear, where every shadow could conceal an enemy and every gust of wind could carry the whisper of death. But perhaps, just perhaps, there are things on the battlefield that defy explanation. Things that linger long after the guns have fallen silent. Stay safe out there.